Hey everyone, it's Lena Howland reporting for ABC 10. I wanted to take you live right now because I'm working on a story today with the City of Tracy because they have this self-serve sandbagging station set up right behind me here. We're off of Tracy Boulevard right now. We're at the Boyd service station. I'm just kind of describing where we're at as we wait for more people to tune into this Facebook Live. So they've set this up in preparation for some heavy rainfall. And this is something that they actually keep up year-round. So I wanted to bring in our public works supervisor, our superintendent actually, for the City of Tracy's Public Works Department. This is David Murphy. David, say hello to everyone.
Hello everybody. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. So David is kind of overseeing this project and making sure that this is easy to get through for anybody who needs a sandbag here in the City of Tracy. We just did our interview together for what you'll see on ABC 10 tonight, but I wanted to take a few minutes aside to just show you how this process works because it's very simple and very easy, and I wanted to have David kind of walk us through it. So first of all, I'm going to kind of flip the camera around to you, David, to ask what is this here and what are we seeing? So I'll flip this around and I'll have you kind of introduce what this is.
Okay, all right, thanks again for coming. My name is David Murphy. I'm a superintendent for the City of Tracy Public Works Department out here at 520 Tracy Boulevard, the Boyd Service Center. What we have here is we have our 24-hour operation for our sandbag station. It's here in preparation for any kind of storm event that may cause some minor flooding. What we've done is we've created 50 to 100 sandbags already made for people that may be a little bit more physically challenged or the handicapped or the elderly. Those we have set aside here, as well as we've created our own little self-serve filling station. We have a supply of empty bags, and we have some shovels out here, and like as of this morning we got another 4 yards of sand so that people can take care of themselves and fill up their own bags. I'll do a little demonstration to show you how we fill up these bags. It's not very hard, it's not very heavy, so we encourage everybody to come down and take care of it on their own. This part of the yard is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so that they can come in. You know, rain doesn't always fall during the day.
Yeah.
So if you want, I'll go ahead and do this.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so you guys know, we're just going to have David do a quick demonstration of how this sandbagging process works. And I'm going to let David take the reins on this one. So, you just pulled out an empty bag.
Basically,
there's a whole bunch of them right here.
Yeah, we have several thousand. There's only a couple out here right now. We have several thousand empty bags as well, so that we have a supply on hand. And then, like I said, we have a pile of sand. We have some shovels out here as well. And then what we do is you just take a bag, slide it underneath the cone. It's a pretty simple operation. What we do, kind of hold it with one hand, take a small scoop of shovel, or a small scoop of sand with a shovel. Hold on one side so it doesn't just fall right off. Put 2 or 3 scoops of sand in there because it doesn't take a whole lot. But all we wanted to do was basically we're going to try to divert any kind of water. So 3 scoops usually does about the right trick. Oops, just a little bit there, but when we're done. The sandbags, there's 2 ways of doing it. You do have strings, but you only want to fill it up about 1/3 to 1/2 of the way. You can give it a good spin, flip it over on itself, and as you can see on a couple bags we filled up earlier, you want to put them close together because where the water goes, the water flows.
Wow.
And that's about it. It's that simple.
That was so simple. That took like less than a minute just to create that one little sandbag right here.
Yep.
And so for the people that are just now tuning into this, these are little old traffic cones. Tell me about this kind of funky contraption you've come up with here.
Sure. Well, the way that we did it in the past was kind of the hard way. You had one guy hold an empty bag and had another guy with a shovel and pouring sand on each other's feet and then on their hands and everything else. So one of our creative guys here in the yard said, hey, we've got a bunch of old cones. The ladder is rated for over 300 pounds. Put it on some barricades. It's very stable, very secure. Flip them upside down, cut the bottoms of the cones off, and voila, you have a filling station that makes things much easier.
Wow, so that you can literally fill up these bags by yourself. You don't have to bring a buddy with you.
Yes, you can actually do these yourself.
Wow, wonderful. Okay. I'm going to flip the camera back around to me over here with David Murphy. Again, for those of you just now tuning in, David is the Public Works Superintendent for the City of Tracy. The city has set up this self-serve sandbagging station for any possible heavy rainfall coming in. And David, you were telling me earlier that this isn't something that was just set up yesterday. This is something that's been set up for years now.
Yes.
Can you tell me about that?
As far as I know, you know, I've been here for about a year now. And I know the actual station's been set up for a couple of years now, at least. And then we've just kind of modified it over the last 6 to 9 months so that we can make it a little easier, a little faster, a little less stressful.
Yeah. And some of my followers know I come from Colorado, and I know we have been through some really serious flooding in Colorado, and I remember when cities brought out these sandbagging stations, it was a really, really serious thing, and you knew that we were about to have some serious weather, and you had to brace for it. So with this station, with this being out year-round, can you talk about how this is more of a preventative thing? Like, we're not trying to scare people when we see these sandbagging stations. This is a preventative thing.
Correct. You know, this is here for the public to access sandbags if they feel the need. We don't have a lot of really heavy rains here. Yes, we've had a lot of days of rain, but not a lot of water coming down at any one event. You know, we just came out of a pretty severe drought, so people are probably thinking, why do we have sandbags at all? But, you know, we just want to be prepared. We want to make sure that the public's got as much access to any kind of protective devices as possible.
Sure. And I know it's kind of been raining off and on here in Tracy. It's been a very rainy morning,
yes,
even just today. But do you have any concerns of any flooding or of any kind of problem areas here in the city of Tracy?
Not at this time. You know, the rain is supposed to kind of be breaking up and going away. You know, one of the things I do tell people is when it rains here, a little while later, it rains up in the hills, so the water is going to come down the streams and the rivers, so they'll hear things on the news that they need to pay attention to and make sure that they're following any kind of advisories. But we're not anticipating anything here in the city of Tracy.
Sure. Okay. Well, then that's good news. That's really good to know. One of the other things of note, just as a reminder, when people come up to this sandbagging station, they will see these signs on the very front of it. I'm going to kind of walk in front. You're going to see these signs on the very front that say it's self-serve and that there's a 10-bag limit. So tell me about that, how you're encouraging people to not take more than 10 and that they're on an honor system.
Right. I mean, it was set up, again, this is a resource for the residents of the city of Tracy to have the access to the sandbags. We're living on the honor system. We have to because of staffing, resources, and all that kind of stuff. So we're hoping that everybody stays to that 6 to 10 bag range. In reality, 6 to 10 bags, it should take care of any kind of resident area, and it should also take care of any kind of business, because you're really looking at protecting your front door, side door, back door, garage door kind of stuff from flooding. And you know, 6 to 10 bags should do the trick.
Perfect. And that kind of answers my next question. I know I asked you about that in our interview. You said front door, back door, side door, garage door. It's the doors that people want to kind of pay closer attention to. Is that correct?
That's correct. What we're trying to do with sandbags is really just direct the water back to where it needs to be. You know, when they're coming down a downspout, or if a gutter is starting to back up a little bit, what we're trying to do is encourage that water to go back to where it's supposed to be. You know, Mother Nature wins every time. So we can do all the preventative that we want. The sandbags are there to just try to help us.
Sure, absolutely. And then I know sandbags are kind of a cheap thing to do. The sand is relatively cheap as far as I know. Is this causing a big cost to the city, or is this a relatively easy thing for you guys to do for the community?
Well, we try to weigh, you know, the cost benefit side of it. You know, a little bit of preventative cost can greatly reduce the cost on the backside if something does happen. So we would rather invest a little bit of money in the sand. The bags are cheap, like you said, you know, and people are doing it themselves, so they're self-serve, so there's really not a lot of city labor involved. So by them taking this extra step, it could help reduce cost of any kind of liability issue down the road.
Sure. Wonderful. Okay. Well, David, thank you very much for answering those questions for us. Is there anything else that you want to let the community know about before they come stop by this service center? Okay.
Well, again, we're at 520 Tracy Boulevard here in the city of Tracy, the Boyd Service Center. We're through gate number 1, which is the very closest gate to 6th Street. If it's after hours, there's not a lot of help here, but during business hours, if you need additional help or you need additional contacts, you can walk through our main office and they can reach out for additional resources.
Perfect. Awesome. David, thank you very much. I appreciate you telling this story to us. I'm going to turn the camera around just to show you one last time what we are looking at. This is the self-serve sandbagging station here in the city of Tracy. You can see it's very clearly marked. It's past gate 1 at the Boyd Service Center, and they have this really cool contraption set up, kind of makeshift, to help you fill your sandbags by yourself, with old traffic cones set up on an old ladder. They have their the bags set up for you, and shovels. And they also have a few pre-made sandbags done as well. They have plenty of sand for you to take, and they're asking people to only take 10 sandbags if needed and if they have any kind of concerns. So I'm going to flip the camera back around. Thank you guys for tuning in to this Facebook Live. Come stop by if you need any sandbags or if you do have any concerns about flooding, and contact our Public Works Department if you do have any more questions about this. So for now, reporting in Tracy, Lena Howland, ABC 10 News.